So eating vegetarian, this was by Isa, me, Lucy, and Morgan. So first of all, what is a vegetarian? So a vegetarian is someone who typically excludes all meat, poultry, and fish products from their diet. So there are different types of vegetarians, and I know you guys can't see this right now. I'm so sorry, but we will have the PowerPoint for you guys too. So hopefully you can follow along with both. So there's a lacto-ovo vegetarian diet. This basically just eliminates meat, fish, and poultry, but it allows eggs and dairy products. So then there's just a lacto-vegetarian diet, which eliminates meat, fish, poultry, and eggs, but it allows dairy products. So the first one allows eggs and dairy. This one just allows dairy. So then there's ovo-vegetarian diet, which eliminates meat, fish, poultry, and dairy products, but it allows eggs. So this one is like the first two, except now you can only have eggs. I never realized how many different types of different types of vegetarians there was until after we went through this chapter. So there's pescatarian diet. This eliminates meat and poultry, but it allows fish and sometimes eggs and dairy products. So it just kind of depends. And there's vegan diet, which I feel like is very popular. A lot of people, when you think of vegetarian, you think of vegan. So it eliminates meat, fish, poultry, eggs, and dairy products, as well as other animal-derived products such as honey. And then there's a flexitarian diet. This is a mostly vegetarian diet that incorporates occasional meat, fish, or poultry. So then this is talking about how even though you're a vegetarian, you still need protein, of course. So those sources of protein might be less conventional. It's important that vegetarians get enough protein to keep their energy up. So we still want to be following our food plate, getting what we can, even though we're not having meat. So then this is what does a vegetarian protein look like. And the main two ways that vegetarians get their protein is through chickpeas and kidney beans. Yeast is the lowest, but there's some other options that you can look through. And then this is what does vegetarian protein look like with cost. So if you do have yeast, it's the most expensive. Luckily, since that's the most expensive, it gives you the less. I kind of thought that was nice. The chickpeas are honestly only $1, and the kidney beans are only $1. Most things are still pretty low, so you should still be able to get your protein pretty cheap. So eating cheap as a vegetarian, breakfast. So a great resource for you to use for vegetarians, or anyone honestly, is budgetbites.com. We found a lot of great recipes and stuff like that on that website. So there's a lot of breakfast items that can be vegetarian and contain protein. Sorry, I'm gonna make sure there's no glare. So of course, eggs. If you're in one of those, if you're in one of the vegetarian diets where you can have eggs, scrambled eggs is definitely a good way to get your protein in. And then whole grain toast or even just waffles with peanut butter on them is a great source of protein. And then for lunch, so there's some options as vegetable barley soup, a kale and apple salad, or even sesame rice. So, and these are all from budgetbites.com. So just getting creative, I think, is a big reason on how it's be good to stay vegetarian. And then we have for dinner, and again, these are all from budgetbites.com. There's black bean soup, broccoli pasta, and cauliflower taco bowls. So honestly, there is a big variety. If you get creative with your meals, there's ways to eat vegetarian and it work out. So the transition to it. It may seem like a huge leap from eating meat 2 to 3 times a day to never, but here are some tips for a smooth transition into a vegetarian lifestyle. So we have listed 5 different ways to help you transition. So 1, we have meatless Mondays. So try to replace one meal or one day of a week with meatless recipes until you feel comfortable with a full-time switch. I think this is a great way. Instead of just dropping meat altogether, it would be good to, like we said, start one day or just vary it. Don't just go from one extreme to the next. So 2, we have red meat. Start by getting rid of red meat and then start replacing the other meats gradually. I also think this is a good idea. 3rd is to plan ahead. Sometimes vegetarian meals take a bit of time or creativity, so plan your meals out ahead of time to save time and stress. This one is very important. I think that planning out your meals ahead will make it way easier for you. A lot of meals that aren't the healthiest choices, it's because they're just quick and easy. They're convenient for you. While being vegetarian, you saw on some of those other meals that we had planned, like all of them, you can tell took a lot of time and work. So definitely being creative, but planning ahead will help you. So then 4 is to substitute. Specific vegetables contain the same nutritional aspects as some meats. Substitute your meats with vegetables in some recipes with a purpose. And then 5, we have get inspired. So follow blogs or groups on social media that have insights or recipes that can keep you excited. I think this is really important because even just after like doing this project and going through this presentation, when I think of a vegetarian, like you just think of lettuce. I don't know if anyone else thinks of that, but that's all that comes in my head. And going back on some of these slides, like you can see that it's not just lettuce. We have taco bowls, multiple types of soup, and like I just never really thought about that kind of stuff. And so I think even just being inspired or following like social media groups would be a great way for you to find recipes and be able to share them with each other. So then here's a list of our resources, which I know that you cannot see them on here, but you will be able to in the presentation.